What's up, Internet? Welcome back to Citizen Sleeper 2. In the last episode, we kind of finished up this area, and I think we're going to just immediately move on to our next one. Let's head finally to Oliveira, the concealed colony. You find Oliveira exactly where Ankita said it would be, a ragged colony, nestled in a crater on one of the biggest rocks of the shoals. Seraphin gets no response to his initial broadcast, and so you find yourself in a docking tunnel, the rig at one end, the colony at the other, with no idea what awaits you. I need you to get back on that ship and keep flying. You freeze in the dark tunnel, a figure in front of you holding a long gun at their hip. I'm serious. Ooh. Your eyes adjust to the dark, and as they do, you see a man, no, a boy, carrying a long dark shape in his hands. I don't know how you found us, but you need to leave right now and forget this place. You glance over your shoulder and see Seraphin, his hands raised in front of him in a gesture of calm. Look, kid, we mean no harm. How you go run get someone? I am someone. I'm Xander. He sticks out his jaw. It's you I don't know, and I'll decide who's going to do some harm here. He reaches across his chest and thumbs on a lamp he's lashed there. You blink in the glare of the bright light, shielding your eyes, and as you do, you see a flicker of confusion crossing Xander's face. He meets your eye with a look of shock and opens his mouth as if to speak, though no words emerge. We have something for Carmen. You notice the familiar name register with Xander, adding to whatever confusion or question your appearance has provoked. You see his eyes taking in your sleeper body, his gun dropping a little as he takes his attention off of it. Is this... He looks between you and Seraphin. You here for Flint? He pulls the gun closer to himself. I'll be honest, kid, we have no idea who you're talking about. Seraphin allows himself to drift a little forward. So, how about you drop the gun, and we could talk like adults. As Seraphin floats past you, he gives you a look that makes you nervous. We're just here to deliver something. Xander? The voice echoes along the docking bridge. Xander, what are you doing? A figure appears at the end of the bridge behind Xander, a young woman clearly older than the boy in front of you. Cadence. Found these two trying to sneak in, Cadence. Xander keeps his eyes on you and Seraphin as he speaks. Saboteurs, maybe? Was about to send them on their way. Xander grins. I assure you, we are not saboteurs, miss. Seraphin smiles at Cadence. Cadence sighs and glides towards Xander. Stop messing around with that welder. She snatches the gun out of Xander's hands. As she does, both of you and Seraphin reflexively flinch. Cadence looks at the two of you with a raised eyebrow and turns the gun so you could see it better. You notice the fuel tank and welding muzzle. It probably has an effective range of less than half a foot. Seraphin looks at Xander and rolls his eyes. Seriously? Cadence lowers the welder to her side and turns to Xander. Now's not the time. We just got an emergency broadcast from Carmen and Flint. Something's happened. Xander's attitude changes immediately. He turns to face Cadence, putting his back to you, and as if you had just disappeared completely. What do you mean, something's happened? I don't know. They went quiet in the shoals. All we got was a distress signal. Cadence raises her hands reassuringly. Don't get excited. They probably just had a technical fault on the ship, but we should check in anyway. We have to get them. Xander grabs the welder back and slings it over his shoulder. In what, Xander? Cadence sighs. They took our only functioning ship. The tender tide's still in pieces in the hangar. Seraphin gives you a nudge and nods towards Cadence and Xander. This is your chance. We have a ship. Xander wheels around in the tunnel, squinting at you in thought. Seraphin moves past you, approaching them. We need to see Carmen, and it seems like Carmen needs our help. He looks between the two of them. So, how about we stop messing around in this dingy tunnel and go get your friend? Xander turns back to Cadence. Them? Really? He rolls his eyes. We're not the only people on Oliveira. There must be other ships. You want to go looking? They're here now. Cadence looks at Seraphin, and they're generously offering to help. She smiles sheepishly. Fine. Xander folds his arms, but I'm coming with you. Fine by us. Seraphin shakes his head and looks to you. Come on then. You both turn and head back into the ship, Seraphin whispering as you do. What kind of backwater has Ankita sent us to? He sighs. That kid thinks he's some kind of sheriff. Not used to visitors, I guess. Tucked away in the shoals like this? I'm not surprised. What are they doing out here? What are we talking about? Xander catches up with you and Seraphin. His mood seemed buoyed by the prospect of boarding a ship. You wonder how often he gets to leave Oliveira. Oliveira? Oh, you haven't seen the half of it. Xander winks. Wait up! You turn back to see Cadence gliding up the tunnel. I changed my mind. I'm coming too. Give me a minute to grab some supplies. She glances at Xander, just in case. Seraphin cuts in. I'll give you a hand. That all right, Sleeper? We'll be there in a second. He looks at you. You pause, but Seraphin doesn't seem to be waiting for confirmation, as he and Cadence head back into the dock. You're slightly thrown off by his eagerness to be helpful. This is the first time you've actually seen him be welcoming to anyone coming on board the rig. When you get to the cockpit, you notice Xander looking wide-eyed at the consoles and switches. Cool ship. He grins. After a short while, Cadence and Seraphin come back into the cockpit. All loaded up. Seraphin pats Xander on the shoulder. Might want to strap in there, kid. Xander and Cadence find a place to settle as Seraphin buckles him into the flight seat. All right, he turns to Xander. Show us where to go. Oh shit, those good rolls, no! Okay, we have equally good rolls. You head out into the shoals, the thick debris field that surrounds Oliveira. What's happening in here, Sleeper? Bliss pokes their head into the cockpit as Seraphin brings the ship in towards the signal coordinates Xander gave him. You look around the cockpit. Xander is typing at the co-pilot console mounted in front of his seat in a haphazard way, while Cadence is asking Seraphin about how the rig works. Surprisingly, Seraphin is responding with patience and care. They'll help us find Carmen. If you say so. Bliss looks over at Seraphin and Cadence. Is Seraphin smiling? They shake their head. Something is going on. Puppy love. Bliss turns back to you. Junie is working on the ship's wiring and won't respond to my messages. She's probably in the walls somewhere hooked up to the main line. They smile a weak smile. I'm here. So, how about you tell me what we're doing out in the middle of nowhere? Quiet! Seraphin's voice cuts through the chatter. Is that? He gestures out into the debris field at a sparking, ragged-looking shape tucked beside a rock. Xander rushes to the cockpit glass. Carmen. A moment of tense silence grips the room. That's his ship. You and Bliss exchange concerned glances. This isn't good. I'll bring her in. Seraphin's eyes are fixed on the wreck of the crumpled ship now. We don't know anything yet, so everyone calm down. Xander is silent, his face pressed against the glass. Cadence stares out at the wreck, her cheeks pale. No one speaks until the rig is brought to a stop. All right, now we're going out there. We'll have a poke around. Seraphin looks between Cadence and Xander. We'll verify the ship, and we recover the crew. Seraphin gives you and Bliss a nod, and you push off and glide towards the back of the cockpit. Suddenly, Xander pushes off from the window and glides with you, out of the cockpit. I'm coming too. You need someone to identify the ship. To identify... He stops and takes a breath. Are you sure? I'm sure. Xander gets the words out and then pushes on ahead towards the airlock. You follow behind, ready to suit up and investigate the wreck. Okay, so we got Xander and we got Bliss. Okay, so we're mostly covered across the board then. That's good. He has the skill that I don't have. Okay, reconstruct events. A crippled ship, holes torn in its hull and a missing crew. With some thought and careful assessment, perhaps this wreck tells a story. The simplest way to find out what happened is a full search of the gutted ship. That's no easy task when part of it has been blasted to debris. Okay, so you could do this task decently well. The search reveals railgun slugs embedded in the interior structure of the ship. Who did this? Okay, good there. You don't have a lot of stress allowance. On closer inspection, it seems the ship's drive is totally burnt out. The ship was running from something. On closer, yeah. Okay, well, 2 total positives, which is great. And then maybe we can get another one more positive result, and then we'll have it. Maybe I'll risk a 3. Nice. You have a sense of what happened here. It's time for a difficult conversation. The search of Carmen's gutted ship has impacted the mood in the rig. As more and more evidence of an attack has happened, the quieter Xander has got, and the more Cadence has retreated into the bunks. Now, with the search complete, you're gathered in the cockpit to discuss what's been found. Come on. Cadence floats by the door, hugging herself against the cold. Tell us already. Xander is perched on the back of one of the seats, flicking at some hinged container he found in the wreck. Open and closed. Open and closed. Explain carefully. You start by summarizing the search, talking around the details, picking your language carefully. You describe the damage to the ship but not the attack. You talk about the occupants of the ship without mentioning what might have happened to them. Seraphin quickly cuts in. What Sleeper is saying, he gives you a look, is that the ship was hit with weapons fire. Badly. Then the drive was fired up and they attempted to flee. The drive burned out, and the ship, after hitting multiple rocks and bits of debris, came to a halt here. He takes a breath. We found no bodies. At the mention of that word, bodies, a shudder runs through those assembled. Then they're here, somewhere. Xander has a steely look in his eyes, and we find them, whatever state they're in. He looks at Cadence. She nods back at him. Xander's right. We aren't leaving them out here. Carmen made Oliveira what it is. He saved us. We won't come back without him. She shivers and looks at Xander. We would do the same for us. Based on the damage to the ship, Seraphim begins, they're almost certainly dead. We get it. Xander cuts him off. But there are debris trails leading away from the ship. I've seen them. There are. Seraphim holds his hands out in a calming manner. But those could be from secondary explosions or depressurization. We picked the wrong trail and it could lead us in circles, cycle after cycle. Then we picked the right one. Cadence has Xander's steely look now. She stares directly at Seraphim, challenging him to answer back. He sighs. Well, then that's what we'll do. He looks at you with resignation. Whatever happened here, you won't be leaving until you see its end. Okay. We got 3 different spaces then. Debris trail. There's only so much you could see from the scan. Sometimes you have to explore the debris and pick up the trail from its patterns. Scanning and mapping the debris from the ship will help you safely figure out where it might lead, but it's painstaking work. One of 3 possible trails. It's impossible to know which is the right one without exploring them further. Are they all going to be the exact same? Yeah. Does Bliss have any help here? I'm going to end the day because I don't really have a nice site. And again, I really don't want to be breaking dice right now. Oh my god, look at that shit. That might be the best I've ever rolled. 4 6s? Wow. Okay. Well, I'll be able to make definite progress this way. Let's try this top one. Cool. It's almost a waste because I have so many plus-ups. Nice. Okay, and now I wonder if I can just use... Oh, hello. I've had this happen before. This is weird. Just the lack of icons. I'm just going to quit the menu real quick and then we'll come back in. Cycle 108. We've spent 108 days in this world. Almost 3 months on the run. Okay. I think I could probably get away with this. Nice. The debris is mapped and the conclusion is clear. This is a dead end. The crew went elsewhere. This isn't leading us anywhere, Sleeper. Bliss's voice comes over the comms. I'm sorry, but we have to call it. You look out at the scattered debris gleaming in the sunlight. Bliss is right. This trail is going nowhere. If Carmen and Flint did head out from the ship this way, there's no way you'll find them. And if they didn't, there's still more places to look. Bliss interrupts your thoughts. We won't give up on them yet. You think of Xander and Cadence and how they must feel right now. The search must continue. All right, let's go with the bottom one. Yeah, Bliss isn't really doing a lot here. I think that, does this take it to a 2? A 1. Christ. Okay, so yeah, Bliss I can't really use Bliss's unless we get really high rolls. Let's try this. Double stress, not good. Alright, so I'll get halfway with this one. I'm not going to have as good rolls this next time, but hey, we got something. Alright, maybe one more cycle we might have it. Good rolls again. Hey, alright. Game's being nice, and here's Bliss's good rolls. Let's take your 5. Okay, you incurred some stress. I'm not gonna push you any more than I need to. Let's try to get this up. Wonderful. The conclusion is clear. New location discovered. Asteroid caves. Forget the trail. If the caves are searched comprehensively, then anyone in here will be found. Follow the trail. The caves are dark and winding, but with a sharp eye, it's possible to spot a glinting shard of debris. This trail must lead somewhere. Okay, you encourage stress, but I'll take that. Okay. Cool. And then we're gonna plus them up all to 4s, and hopefully that does something. Okay, we incur a little bit of stress. I'll take that. It's okay. Okay. 1s are now damage dice, but we're really close. And I have a feeling I don't need to go down this debris trail anymore. I'm not even going to chance the 2 because he's almost out of stress allowance. Okay, we got even more dice damage. We love that. Thank you, game. All right, Bliss, help me out here. Go do this one. Cool, and then I'm just gonna do this and see if it works. Cool, there's a light in the dark, flickering, fading. When the Starward trail led into the caves, a little hope was kindled in the hearts of the crew, but after plumbing the depths of these dark passages, that hope seemed snuffed out. Xander has struggled on in silence, only speaking to update Cadence on the lack of news via the cockpit comms link. But he speaks now, quietly at first, and then with increasing urgency. A light, Sleeper. I see a light. And with that, he kicks off hard from the wall and darts down a dark tunnel with reckless speed. You follow, but the tunnels are winding, and you quickly lose Xander around a corner. You kick off from the same wall, trying to close the gap, but when you come around that same corner, you can't find Xander anywhere. And then you see it. Through a thin slit in the cave wall, a flickering, fading light. You cross over to it and see scratches and chunks scraped out of the rock. Someone has dragged something through here. Contact Xander. You click your comms to Xander's channel and call out to him. Nothing but static and silence greets you. A flashing red light on your comms panel suggests the signal isn't getting through. You push away some of the floating rock and squeeze yourself into the gap. As you do, you watch the light pulsing inside the cave, setting the cracks and shapes of the rock in sharp relief. You search those shadows for something recognizable, but the light source remains out of sight. And then you're through. You steady yourself against the wall and look towards the light. There, beside a fading emergency lamp, floats a body, its head instantly striking you as strange and misshapen. You know immediately this must be Carmen. His head is shrouded in an emergency helmet, inflated around him like a balloon, while an oxygen canister floats nearby, attached to by a tube. His eyes are closed, his body still. You try to settle your gaze on his chest to see the telltale rise and fall. And then the light catches something else, something broken and skeletal nearby. A face with bright eyes watching you. Oh shit. A sleeper. Another sleeper. They watch you with lit irises, ones just like yours. Their torn face reveals no emotion. They pose crouched, coiled even, ready to strike, like a spring ready to strike. You are both frozen, unsure, afraid. Nothing moves. Your eyes trace the damage to their suit, to their body. They look broken, worn down, and you wonder if this is how you look to others, if they flinch when they see you as you feel the need to now. Carmen! Xander's panicked voice cuts through the silence. He rushes forward to the floating body, and as he does, the other sleeper pulls away from the wall like a statue coming to life. For a moment, you go to intervene, to save Xander from the skeletal figure, but the sleeper falls on Xander to embrace him, and Xander returns the hug. You float, stunned, watching as Xander begins to carry Carmen's body from the cave with Flint, the sleeper, guiding him. Carmen is stable. Cadence comes out from the room that has become a makeshift med bay. She looks between you and Seraphine. Thanks to you. And Flint? Cadence pauses, choosing her answer carefully. Flint is in there with Carmen. They seem to be functional. She looks away, if that's what you mean. We should head back to Oliveira. Seraphine cuts in. He places a hand on your shoulder and steers you away towards the cockpit. Once you're out of earshot, Seraphine turns to you. Did you know Flint was a sleeper? No. Seraphine nods. He pauses. I don't want to be suspicious. I was just surprised, that's all. Seraphine glances back towards the medbay. They look different. What do you mean? I don't know, he sighs. Just something I wish they'd mentioned. I'll go and get her started up. He pats you on the shoulder and heads to the cockpit. Let's just keep an eye on them, okay? He leaves you floating in the corridor, unsure what to think. Flint is the first sleeper you've met since you've escaped the program, and at this point, those memories are little more than fragments and fictions. As the rumble of the drive runs through the ship, you can't help but feel a little concerned for what this might mean. Alrighty then, I think we're good to go then. Because I have no ability to do anything else, right? Cool. Out we go. Here we come. You can now travel back to the hub. Leave! Eugene finds you in a quiet corner of the rig. Seraphin just gave you something I think you need to see. Eugene has been uncharacteristically quiet since your journey to the Aphelion Path's resting place, and even now, there's a Sirius to him you do not recognize. He produces a personal terminal, a slate, and shows you the screen. On it is a message from the Singers, from Peter. I am pleased to report the fraction drive's extraction was a success. You hear the gravelly voice in your mind as you read. Thanks to your choice to concede. Conway attempted pursuit, but Singer ships are fast and quiet, and we soon lost them in the debris. You smile. Peter's arrogance is clear, even in writing. We have now begun on the project to implement and expand the fraction drive, which is why I'm writing to you. Encrypted with this message is a full scan of the drive itself, its components and systems. You exchange a glance with Eugene. I believe you deserve as much for your integrity in our encounter. I'm glad we didn't have to kill you. What you do with the plans is up to you, but I would recommend you do not attempt to sell or publish them unless you wish to attract further attention from Conway. The Singers will soon leave Helion, and in part, we have to acknowledge your role in making this possible. We wish you safe passage on your journey, Peter. Journey, Peter. At the bottom of the message, a handful of encrypted files open up to reveal an insanely complex set of scans and diagrams, the fraction drive. You look up at Eugene, who has a sharp smile on his face. The bastard did it. He shakes his head, and I have to thank you for stopping me from killing him. You should listen to me more. Eugene laughs. I'll do my best, Captain, but no promises. Building it is another problem. I'm not an engineer. He squints at the diagram. We would need a lot of resources, and the kind of machines only found in places like Darkside. With time, research, who knows? Eugene grins. The point is, it's possible. We have the plans. The path is there. You see it now. Eugene's swagger returning. For better or for worse, this project fuels him. It's on the back burner for now. We have more immediate things to deal with. He slips the terminal away, but I will start calling in favors quietly, investigating how real this is. I'd expect nothing less. Eugene frowns, something dark crossing his face. Look, I know this is exciting, but he pauses, unsure of his words. We know what people did to claim this drive. He swallows hard. What I did. Eugene taps at the terminal. Part of me wants to delete these right now. He looks down. They make me afraid of what I'll do to fulfill them. It won't be like that. Perhaps you're right. He smiles weakly. I want to believe it. He slips the slate away. The way you treat me, it makes me believe something. His brow knits, his own words irritating him. But I'm not sure what it is. And I'm not much of a believer. Eugene looks down. You can see he's fighting with himself. I don't like to owe people. He pats you on the shoulder, but for you, I'll make an exception. With that, he turns away, gliding back through the ship and out of sight. A fraction drive of your own, a machine to cut a path through the stars. You shake your head. It's not hard to dream. But you've seen the danger of that dream too. What it drove Eugene and others to do. Perhaps together, you could keep each other on that narrow path to the future without straying into obsession. Or perhaps, thinking of those impossibly complex plans, it will never come to pass. Are they a diagram of your future, or a labyrinth to become lost in? The only way to know is to live it, together. Yeah, okay, we completed that one, but 2 upgrade points. You're left alone with Xander and Seraphin in the docks, while Carmen is carefully carried from the rig by Flint, guided away into one of Olivera's many tunnels and passages. Okay, I believe you. Xander shrugs his shoulders. Seraphin raises an eyebrow. Believe us how? That you aren't saboteurs. He shoots you a sheepish grin, although, you never know. I appreciate that. No problem. He nods to you with the kind of seriousness that only children possess. Tell me, Kin. Seraphin folds his arms. Why are you so protective of this place? I mean, no offense, but who'd want to sabotage a tin pot colony in the middle of the shoals? Xander bristles at the comment. It controls his anger. You don't get it. Olivera's a refuge. Why do you think we're hiding all the way out here? He glances at you and then back at Seraphin. I would have thought you'd understand what's at stake here. You've seen Flint. Seraphin pauses, unsure of how to respond. He looks embarrassed into silence. Look, Xander says, playing the peacemaker, you brought Carmen back to us. Everyone in Oliveira will thank you for that. How about you stick around for a bit, get a feel for the place. If you need to resupply, we can help. We haven't got much, but if you chip in, you'll get your share. He bows his head a little. We're more welcoming than we appear. Just don't expect to buy anything with those chits of yours. Xander puts his hands on his hips. Oliveira is not for sale. Seraphin shrugs. All right, kid. He glances at you. We appreciate it. We need to hang around until Carmen's back up and awake anyway, and I think we'll be glad of the rest. I'll see you around then. Xander touches his brow in a salute and then kicks away, floating out of the docks. Seraphin turns to you. A little shore leave doesn't sound so bad. We need to speak to Carmen. For sure, he stretches, but Carmen isn't going anywhere. We've got time. He winks and glides away into Oliveira proper. You're left floating in the docks, unsure of what comes next. It doesn't seem like Lane is going to find you out here, so maybe this is the perfect time to take a breather. At least you could bring Ankita's drive to Carmen. You turn that little thumbnail drive over in your pocket. Time to see what Oliveira has to offer. Yeah! Okay. So we got a lot of stuff going on here. We're waiting for Carmen to recover. And yeah. Cool. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it here. I'm gonna end my episode here. And we'll start clean the next one of exploring Oliveira. There we go. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a like if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see future episodes in the series. And we'll see you in the next one.